Hey everyone, this is Friedel Hagaraja Rave, and I'm here with my comic book roundup for this week. And yeah, I'm going to try and make this quick, but no promises. So, anyway, I think I ended up reading like 7 or 8 comic books this week. I'm not even sure, but there were a lot. I'll begin this roundup by talking about Action Comics, issue number 1041, and it's titled Broken Bonds, and it continues the War World arc, a very action heavy arc occurring right now. And if you zoom in, let's see. It's written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, with artists being Dale Eaglesham, Eaglesham and Will Connard as the artists, and this installment ended up focusing a bit more on Midnighter and what Midnighter has been up to. So yeah, of course, Midnighter knows that Apollo, who is basically his husband, is being used as a living battery, and of course, Midnighter wants to save him. However, there's a bit of an issue. It's that if he ends up saving Apollo, then the fake planet will get destroyed, and this kind of opinion ends up, of course, conflicting with Clark's opinion, because Clark wants to fight for everyone and liberate all of the prisoners. So I'm looking forward to seeing how these two are going to work together in order to save Apollo while saving the resident inhabitants on the planet. So this issue ends up basically being Midnighter trying to figure out how to rescue Apollo, and along the way he ends up helping certain people rebel. We actually see this woman helping him later on in this issue, and yeah, wherever he goes, there are certain people who end up confusing Midnighter for Superman, and that made me chuckle. And anyway, by the end of this issue, we do see Superman breaking free, and he's like, you know what, Midnighter, we don't necessarily have time to go and rescue Apollo right now, so I want you to come with me. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how these two are going to rescue the rest of the members of the Authority, and basically having a rematch with their foes, because yeah, it didn't work out well for them the first time. My recommendation would be that you should pick this issue up, and of course, there are queer characters in this comic book. Then we go to Miss Marvel Beyond the Limit, issue number 4 by Samira Ahmed. Here are the credits. Samira Ahmed, art by Andres Janolet, and color artist is Treona Farrell. And yeah, this issue was basically Ahmed telling us Karen's backstory, or is her name Kieran or Karen? Karen, yeah, Karen's backstory, and why Karen has it out for Miss Marvel, and why she blames Kamala Khan for the death of the Miss Marvel in her world, and basically destruction of her world as well. We get a flashback where Karen is shown. She's living in a dimension that has no pollution. Everyone has gone green, and Miss Marvel is someone that everyone looks up to. However, the strange portal opens, and Karen tries to rescue Miss Marvel, but I think she disappears or disintegrates, and Karen also sees her entire world being destroyed. Now, as far as my opinion goes, I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the final issue, which I think that issue number 5 is the final issue, right? But yeah, by the end of the final issue, everything is set right, because I really think, because I'll be very surprised if Samira ends up putting all of this burden on Miss Marvel, and basically blaming Kamala Khan for, even if it was on accident, blaming her for the destruction of an entire world. But let's see what happens. Now, my only gripe would be that Nadia Van Dyne, she ends up making an appearance, and she couldn't necessarily realize who the fake Miss Marvel was and who the real Miss Marvel was. And I'm like, you know what, Nadia, Karen is right there. Even though she shapeshifted into Miss Marvel, she's right there beating the heck out of the guy in the trench coat. So I think that's hint enough to let you know that that's the fake Miss Marvel. And Nadia's supposed to be smart. My recommendation would be that you should pick it up, and yeah, there aren't any queer characters in this particular issue. And then we come to Count Crowley, Amateur Midnight Monster Hunter by David Desmalchian, who, of course, if you guys are familiar, he is an actor he's been in a lot of stuff. He basically played Polka Dot Man in the Suicide Squad movie. So yeah, this is a 4-issue miniseries, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this series, and I really liked how, yeah, these are the credits if you want to go over them. But yeah, I really liked how it opened up with this narration from this Vincent Van Gogh, which is basically a play on Vincent Van Gogh. He's a mummy, and he's the one giving us a narration about what Jerry, our lead female character, has been through. And yeah, it kind of reminded me of Tales from the Crypt. So basically, in this issue, Jerry needs to figure out a way in order to kill a werewolf. But I have a feeling that David won't be allowing Jerry to kill the werewolf, because he seems to be going towards a more sympathetic route for the werewolf. But let's see what happens. Anyway, I also liked that this story ended up giving us a bit of a difference when it comes to the vampires in this fictional world. And yeah, Jerry is in a lot of trouble. She has a I'm just looking forward to seeing what more trouble she's going to get into in the next episode, because killing a vampire in this fictional world is going to be tough. And then we have Stranger Things. Kamchatka, right? If that's how you pronounce it. So this is also a 4-issue miniseries, and I have to say that I ended up enjoying this debut issue. The script is by Michael Moresi, art by Todor Hirstov, and yeah, it's basically that a Russian scientist is kidnapped by Soviet troops to help on a top secret project, leaving nothing for his 2 children but a mysterious case and a whole lot of questions. Now, I have to say that it was kind of a risk to tell a Stranger Things story without the OG characters appearing. But yeah, so that's why kudos to Michael Moresi for pulling it off, because I ended up liking the 2 characters, the young siblings starring in this issue. Basically, yeah, her name is Anne and Leonid, if I remember the names correctly. So yeah, this is Anna. So this is their dad. So his dad ended up creating this device. We don't necessarily know what the device is supposed to do. And yeah, the Soviet troops want him to come and work for them in a mysterious secret lab where they have this Demogorgon captured, and they want him to figure out a way to keep this Demogorgon alive. And of course, he refuses, and he gets kidnapped. And he tells Anna and that she should never open this case and keep it hidden. And after he's been taken away, we get introduced to basically the boss of the operation, and she's like, you know what, I can make your life very, very hard, because the device that you created, other scientists should be able to create it too, but that's going to take a long time, so why don't you do us a favor and create the device again? And of course he's like, no, I won't do that. And while that's happening, Anna and Leonid end up getting a bit of an assistance from a mysterious man. So I'm looking forward to seeing how everything is going to come together as the series progresses. And I also have to say, this series also made me think that, you know what, are Demogorgons able to showcase kindness or an emotion that's somewhat similar? Because if Olev, his name is Olev, right? The names, I have trouble when it comes to names. But yeah, I think his name is Olive, Dr. Olive or something. But yeah, I'm wondering if the Doctor ends up helping the Demogorgon, will the Demogorgon repay in kind down the line? Will it remember Olive's kindness and save him somehow, or maybe not attack him even though the Demogorgon has the opportunity to kill him? Let's see what happens. So we cut to My Bad, and yeah, I was provided a free digital copy of My Bad issue number 5 for review. And if you guys aren't reading this superhero spoof comic, you need to. I highly recommend it. Oh yeah, back to Stranger Things. Does it have any queer characters? No, it doesn't. Recommendation, pick it up. So yeah, My Bad, you really need to pick this comic book up, because it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And the fact that the co-creators, Russell and Ingman, were able to continue giving us banger after banger, 5 issues in, considering that also due to the fact that superhero spoofs don't always, they run the risk of falling flat on their face right out the gate. But yeah, amazing, impressive stuff. So coming to the credits, we have the main story, My Bad, by Mark Russell and Bryce Ingman, artist being Peter Cross. And yeah, the comedy ends up starting from the very first page with this recommended reading list. And then there's also a warning from the Comic Book Code Authority, and it's just fun. Basically, this issue deals with Emperor King basically being annoyed by all of the attention that the Accelerator is gaining, even though the Accelerator is dead. And then Rush Hartel gives him an idea about how they can basically benefit from all of this attention as well. And then Chandelier comes in, and of course Chandelier is like, King Emperor, why did you gift me a salad shooter? And we get an answer to that. But yeah, in my opinion, everything came to a satisfying conclusion. However, we did end up getting to know about a certain story development that might end up being explored further in season number two. So I really hope that My Bad comes back for season number two very soon. But let's see what happens. Again, I highly recommend that you pick this issue up. And does it have queer characters? Obvious queer characters? No, it doesn't. Now, this was another issue that I really, really enjoyed. This is a mini series, and it's Godzilla versus Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Yep, you read it right. And if I was a kid, I would be screaming with a copy of this comic book in my hand, like, ugh. So it's from Cullen Bunn. Let's go to the credits. Story by Cullen Bunn, art by Freddie Williams II, and colors by Andrew Dalhouse. So basically, the premise is that Rita Repulsa ends up finding this ancient relic, which she uses to travel to another dimension. And yeah, Angel Grove is there. However, on this planet or this dimension, the Power Rangers never existed. However, what does exist is Godzilla and giant aliens. And I'm like, yeah. And she also takes the Green Ranger with her. Now, Rita Repulsa ends up teaming up with the alien team that wants to destroy Godzilla because they want to use the resources on Earth, but it's proving way more tougher than they anticipated. And Rita is like, you know what, I'll help you. And while that's happening, Tommy ends up summoning the Dragon Zord. And we get this battle between Godzilla and the Dragon Zord, and I'm like, you know what? I really like the art, the colors, the pencils. Here he kind of looks like a panther and less like a lizard, but it is what it is. But anyway, I really like the art and the colors and the fact that the Dragon Zord really couldn't defeat Godzilla, which I'm like, duh. My other gripe would be the facial expressions of the humans. Just look at these facial expressions. Like, this is supposed to be Kimberly. This is supposed to be Trini, and they kind of look the same. And I'm like, what's happening? Yeah, the facial expressions, not a fan. But of course, I'm looking forward to the upcoming issue because the Rangers end up traveling to the dimension that Tommy is in. And yeah, of course, the Ranger is going to team up with Godzilla in order to defeat Rita and the other aliens. And if this story ends up giving me Kimberly Zord versus Rodan, I'll faint. But yeah, highly recommend that you pick this comic book up. And does it have obvious queer characters? No, it doesn't. And then we have The Department of Truth by James Tynion IV and issue number 17. And I have to say that this was basically one of the most... it was one of the issues that I actually ended up understanding because the past issues, a whole bunch of them, I couldn't really understand what was happening. So in this issue, we actually get the basics of the Department of Truth, what it stands for, and the battle that it continues to have with the Ministry of Lies. So basically, both departments are trying to warp reality in order to bring across the reality that they want. And we get to see this comic book issue use the conspiracy theory surrounding the moon landing in order to show how the Department of Truth ended up basically willing that entire thing into life, and then it became reality in order to strengthen the idea of America that they want to have. And yeah, I have to say that I really enjoyed the Department of Truth. I really enjoyed this issue. And if you guys aren't reading this, I hope that you do. It's fun. It's very, very fun. And also, of course, we still don't necessarily know a whole lot about that lady who likes to wear glasses and she's in red. So I'm looking forward to seeing where the story is going to go next. Now, the final comic book that I read was Clear, issue number 5. And I was provided a free digital copy of Clear, issue number 5 for review, and the opinions that I have for free, and also the opinions that I have are my own. So yeah, Clear number 5. It's by Scott Snyder and arts by Francis Manapul. And yeah, basically this issue was about Dune, learning about his ex-wife's plan and what she wanted to do with the new veil she created, and how it's basically going to crash the servers for a few seconds in order to show everyone what the real world is about. And yeah, this entire series has featured ideas that will make you think about what it means to be always hyper aware of what's going on. And I do feel that with time, certain people are going to find different avenues in order to escape, and they'll be content living in just their tiny little bubbles in the reality that they want to live in. And Yeah, the premise of this story is very, very interesting, even though it's not my favorite comic book out there. And basically, it's not the writer's fault, it's just that I'm not the biggest fan of sci fi out there, especially virtual type sci fi that this story has, but it's still enjoyable. So, if I think that it's enjoyable, even though I'm not a fan of sci fi, I think that people who are fans of sci fi they will greatly enjoy this. So, yeah, Dune ends up meeting the widow, and we get an explanation about why the widow does what she does, and she gives an example of a spider living in her web, and basically the only world she knows is the world that's inside the web. She doesn't know anything outside, and yeah, again, this issue is going to make you think when it comes to certain philosophical ideas and whether or not people should be aware of what's happening, or if certain information should be kept from them in order to be happy, or if that state of a person is even happiness, or if it's ignorance, and yada yada yada, a whole lot of questions, because yeah, this was a very talk heavy issue, but still very, very enjoyable. I'm looking forward to seeing. Yeah, issue number 6 is going to be the final issue. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Dune is able to do and whether or not he will be able to accomplish his mission. I will be doing the written reviews of all of these comic books for the Geekiary. The link to my written reviews will be down in the comment section below as soon as they get published on the website. Let me know which comic books you read this week. And yeah. Oh, also, I recommend that you pick up Clear. And does it have obvious quick correctors? It does not. But yeah, let me know what you read this week. And until next time, stay happy, stay safe, stay blessed. See you guys later.